Did your kids recognize them or has it been too long? So, the last time that my kids saw Robyn was it was before the boys turned one. Because we moved. So they turned one. Yeah, I think it was before the boys. See, when did we go visit? Maybe right after they were one. I think it was winter before we moved. Maybe it was the winter. Oh, Garrison. Duh. The last time Robyn and my dad saw the kids was when we visited Flagstaff after Garrison passed away. That was it. That was the last time they saw him. So it's been a year and a half. Maybe not quite a year and a half, but it's been almost a year and a half. Actually, no, March. Yeah, it's been a year and a half since they've seen him. So Avalon, if she comes down here and she watches the show with us, she'll recognize him a little bit and she'll be like, but Robyn, she doesn't recognize at all. I think that if they saw each other in person, Avalon might recognize Robyn. They might recognize the emotions that they feel around Robyn and my dad, because I mean, Robyn was there at the birth of the boys. So they might recognize their emotions and be comfortable around them. But I don't think so too much.
Hi, besties. Welcome back to my channel. Mykelti Brown is getting real, and she is no longer protecting Kody and Robyn. And we've been diving into some of her Patreons as she is unraveling the book that her mother wrote. Mykelti has had a very complicated journey because Mykelti was a kid that was more of a rebel. She was more interested and inquisitive of this world, and that led to a lot of heartache for her as a child growing up in fundamentalism, because questioning and wanting to experience life, have a unique perspective, wear clothing like a tank top, be interested in boys, ask questions about her faith, and none of those were things that were allowed. Add into the fact that she lived in Nevada. When she was in Nevada, she was a little bit of a party girl in high school. And honestly, even though she was different than her siblings, that made her a target of people in the family because she wasn't falling in line. Robyn Brown took a very keen interest in her, but mostly just exploited her for being a babysitter. And in a way, Robyn used her relationship with Mykelti to get information, and then vice versa. Kody used Robyn's relationship with Mykelti to get information, and then Kody and Robyn used Mykelti after Christine left. Once Garrison passed away, Mykelti has distanced herself very significantly from the family. That means Kody and Robyn. Kody and Robyn have severed ties with her, which is probably worse than her going no contact with them, because Kody and Robyn, by the way, were so elated when the twins were born that Robyn went to stay with Mykelti and help with the twins for several days. And Robyn went on and on and on about how these were her babies, right? These were her grandbabies. All she wanted to do was get old and live with her grandbabies. Well, there are now, I believe Maddie has 4 children and Mykelti has 3 children, and Aspen has 1 child if she's given birth. She is given birth. There are 8 grandchildren that Kody and Robyn do not have anything to do with. Mykelti said just last night that her kids don't know Robyn at all. Avalon probably wouldn't even recognize her, and when she sees the show, Avalon doesn't recognize her. The boys that she claimed were her babies, she hasn't seen since they were infants. Some grandma, huh? Some grandma. Interestingly, Mykelti and Tony are completely anti-polygamy, like to the core anti-polygamy. It's not a good way to live. It's a terrible way of life. It's a horrible life for the women. The children get neglected. Tony can't even fathom or understand why a man would want to do this and not have any relationships with his children. And Mykelti is conflicted because, like a lot of people I speak to from the AUB, on the one hand, they have memories that are fond because they were in a community, right? Not everything that was happening inside the community was bad. And equally, not all people in this community are bad. There are bad leaders, there are bad people, but not everyone is bad. So there are family and friends that are still in this community that they love. And so speaking about it boldly is challenging because if they do, they risk offending family members. They risk their family members cutting them off if they have contact still with people in the group. If they don't, that's probably why they don't. But, she's very anti polygamy. And she spoke about why she's anti polygamy and she took huge issues with the way the men treat the women and spoke about how men, specifically like her dad, it makes them lazy and basically they are patriarchs and they become abusive to their wives. Check this out.
Polygamy makes men lazy because it really does. You're like, well, I don't have to be there for my wives because they'll just be there for each other. I don't have to help raise my kids because I have enough wives that they can raise my kids for me. But makes women work harder. I think that polygamy raises stronger women, I will say, but they also live in it's fine, scared situation. So it's almost like there's still this super heavy patriarchy, but a woman in polygamy, she understands that she has to do everything. She's got to figure out how to take care of the kids, sun up to sundown, take care of the house, whether it's cleaning, fixing appliances, anything else. She has to figure out how to do her own yard work, how to mow her own lawn, how to take out her own trash.
The part of the book that Mykelti's talking about is when Christine speaks about in her book how men are expected to basically do nothing at all. So when something happens to a woman, or if she's upset about something, she's not allowed to have feelings about it. She's not allowed to express her feelings about it. She has to stuff it all down and just say everything is fine because if she complains, then the husband will just go somewhere else and spend time with someone else who won't complain. And that it makes men lazy because they don't have to ever think about anything but themselves. They don't have to do the yard work. They don't have to do the maintenance in the house. They don't have to buy food. They don't have to do cooking. They don't have to clean. The guys are just running around like chickens with their head cuts off. They go wherever they want. They do whatever they want. They don't have any responsibilities beyond working, really. And they expect their wives to do everything for them. They don't view their children as actual children. They're a number for their kingdom, right? So, like, the kids are serving a purpose of expanding the man's kingdom, bringing him more glory in heaven. They're not viewed really as individuals, and the men don't really treat them as individuals, which is why Kody doesn't know any of his children. Interestingly, on a Patreon, Mykelti stated that before Robyn ever came around, Kody would sometimes be gone for more than 2 weeks at a time, and he might come home for like a week because he was out traveling doing sales work. And when he was home, he very rarely spent time with the kids at all. And if he did, it was only like one time a year, and he would take the kids out and spend time with them on their birthday. Like that was the extent of his relationship with his kids. And so it wasn't just like a Robyn thing. He just spent more time with Robyn once she came into the picture. But yeah, I mean, she's basically saying that her dad is a product of this world because he's doesn't have to do anything. The whole system is built around him so that he can get whatever he wants. He expects the women to do whatever they want. And then her mom, as a result, is a single mom. And what she's describing of the women in polygamy is that they're single moms, they're single parent, but they're supposed to be in a community where they have all of this support when they really don't. It's just so sad for everyone involved. Mykelti spoke about how, in polygamy, the women are supposed to be there for each other and they're supposed to be able to help each other raise their kids. And to a degree, it was like that when they were little, a little bit. Not as how they portrayed it on the show at all. Everyone loved Christine's house because Christine was a safe place. She was a safe sister wife. She allowed the kids to be kids. She didn't have a ton of rules. She let them play games. She let them be silly. She was like the safe mom. And if you talk to kids that grow up in these communities, there's usually a mom like that in every family. And so she was that mom for the kids. And that's why so many of them gravitated towards her. One thing I want to speak about how fake Robyn is that not only did Robyn never pitch in to help with the kids, literally ever, but there was a period of time when Christine went out of town and she was on a cruise for LuLaRoe. And instead of Kody and Robyn helping with the kids, which they easily could have done, Christine had to have Mykelti come out from out of town to take care of the kids while her mom was out of town. So Robyn, who claims that she was, the best sister wife, she didn't even have or force her husband to go over to Christine's house to take care of his kids. Listen to this.
They went a cruise. They went. I actually came to Flagstaff to watch Truly, Gwendolyn, and Isabel while she was gone on the cruise. So, like, they had me come in to babysit, basically. Dad never came to the house while I was there. We didn't see him. And I think that there was, like, I had come back to a different trip one time, and Dad knew I was there. I think I reached out to him a couple of times and it just didn't work out. But there were a couple more times they came back, and if Dad was coming to visit, he'd be there for 2 seconds, and then he'd go up to Mom's room and he'd chill on his phone. And it was pre-COVID, too. So it was like, what?
And this is where I take issue with Robyn. No, these children are not Robyn's biologically, but Robyn on the show over and over and over says that she was a good sister wife, that she was always there to help. She would do anything for the kids. She loved these kids. But yet, instead of when she was in town, because by the way, she was in town, and yes, she had at this time 2 minor children. The rest of her children were adults. She wasn't being forced to like take care of them. And if they weren't adults, they were very old teenagers that didn't need a ton of anything from her, right? Nothing. They didn't need a lot from her. They're teenagers. They're independent. So instead of Robyn being like, oh man, I don't think Kody, your kids should be there by themselves. And why should Mykelti have to come in from Utah to take care of them? You could easily help out with that, right? Easily. This was when Truly was little, Truly would have been 10, 9 years old, right? 8. But he didn't, and she was okay with that. And I'm sure during that period, he was at Robyn's house, right? Robyn's house was where he lived. It was never Robyn's house. And I totally understand now why Kody refers to them as Christine's kids and Janelle's kids. It's because he does not view them as his kids. He has no emotional connection to who they are. He doesn't know who they are. All they are is a being that he planted with his pencil into a woman, got her pregnant. She put out the baby, and then once was born, he didn't have to do anything because he's the God in this family, right? And, it's sick to me that in a separate Patreon, and I can't find it right now, they were speaking about those homes they had in Las Vegas. So when they were building the houses in Las Vegas, she said that the houses that were the nicest were Mary's and Robyn's. And that was because Robyn was the favorite wife, Mary was the legal wife, and Kody was going to be on the loan with Mary. So those 2 homes were the biggest, and those 2 homes were the nicest. And those were the 2 homes that he did the most at those homes to make them have higher resale value. But also, when they were working on the homes to have the homes get done and be finished, he made sure that Robyn closed first before anyone else. And his excuse was because Robyn had Solomon, who was an infant, completely ignoring the fact that he had Truly with Christine, who was like a year and a half. So because Robyn had the infant, she gets the bigger house, the nicer house. It's done first. Robyn gets to move in first. She closes first, along with, I think, Janelle. And Kody then basically moves into Robyn's house, but on the show pretends like he sees all these wives. And there you hear her say that when he did show up at the house, he would say hi to the kids, maybe for a couple minutes, But then he would go upstairs into the bedroom and just hang out on his phone the entire time he was at Christine's house, and he never spoke to the kids. Like, when Christine says that her kids have daddy issues, it's because they don't have a dad. Like, their dad was not their father. He was not a dad at all. He was never around. And when he did show up, he was only there very briefly, and he didn't interact with them, and he never cared to. And it was consistent across the board. I mean, and I don't think that he's this amazing dad with Robyn's kids, because I still think he's inherently selfish. I still believe that while he's with Robyn, he still probably expects Robyn to do everything for him. I have no doubt that he expects her to take care of the kids, but because he wanted more time with Robyn, he got her a nanny. Not because she couldn't have had help from her sister wives. It was because he wanted Robyn all to himself. He wanted to spend the afternoon in the bedroom with Robyn, right? And so Robyn would need help, so he gets her a nanny. When Christine needs help, she's supposed to rely on her oldest kids, and her kids are not allowed to be children. But when Robyn's kids are old enough to help take care of the kids, they still have a nanny, because again, different things for different wives. So frankly, it just proves that Robyn is selfish. Mykelti flat out said she never helped with the kids. She never tried to help with the kids. She never cared to help with the kids. And the excuse was always that she had little kids. That doesn't make any sense, because when they all had little kids, they helped raise their kids together. She never wanted to be in a plural family, and Kody was lazy. So what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and click the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, besties.